You're watching iCan Media. I'm your host, Rob Hislop. Today we're going to talk about the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award. It's being given out later on this year. And right now we're going to talk with one of the finalists in the Prairies category for energy services, Quinn Holtby with CatchCan Limited. Thanks very much for joining us here on iCan Media.
My pleasure.
Tell us a little bit about, you're up for Entrepreneur of the Year. Tell us, and you work in the oil industry, tell us a little bit about your history when it comes to the oil industry.
Well, I started in 1978 on a drilling rig as I just turned 18 years old, Rob, and well, my mother wouldn't let me work on the rigs prior to that because as a restaurateur, she had heard and listened to the stories of other people working in the oil patch and how dangerous it was, and so she wasn't going to let her 16-year-old son get to work on drilling rigs until I could make my own decisions. So that's really what 1978 was a interesting part of my life.
So you started out at 18. You obviously worked on it for a number of years before you decided to become an entrepreneur. Tell us what led to that change.
We were building a rig in Calgary in 1980, 81, and because I had worked derrick at the time and was a driller, I'd worked my way up to a driller. I had suggested some modifications to the rig, just slight movements of certain items on the rig, and I was shot down because the engineer on the site said that if we moved this stabilizer 1 foot to get it away from hitting your elbow on it every time you pulled pipe, that he wouldn't warranty the rig. And frankly, I went to school to learn how to learn, and so I learned that not necessarily everybody's have the best interests when making those types of decisions, and so I set a goal that I would come back and help make better decisions on drilling rigs to make it safer for the guys.
So what was the first product you came up with?
First one was a Kelly can, a small device to enclose the Kelly on connections, and from my experience, the first time I was on the drill floor, Rob, we termed it getting hosed, and my brother-in-law Larry Trache let one of them pop, and all of the team on the drill floor were soaked from head to toe, and he asked us how we liked it now, and I said, it's a lot better, Larry, because I get to have a shower at least once a day, and in the other work that I was doing, we never had that opportunity. A shower once a week in the grain industry was a tough go.
So when you looked at the Kelly can, was it the first idea that came to your head, or was it just you were on the rig and you thought, this is where I've got to go as far as being an entrepreneur goes?
That's a good question, Rob. There was a lot of room for improvement on the drilling rigs. A lot of guys got hurt, seriously hurt. Rudy got his arm broke in 7 places, and frankly, didn't need to happen that way. And that was just one of the products that I wanted to develop, one of the most important, just to keep the guys dry and safe. And, Rob, when you're covered from head to toe with drilling fluid and your eyes are full of it and you can't see, there's a whole host of other injuries that are related to that actual event happening. And so knowing what those were, because of my experience, really helped me develop a whole line of products.
So safety, obviously a paramount concern for you, also protecting the environment.
Safety is the number one. You invest in a number of months, if not years, teaching a guy to be a roughneck to a driller, and then that person makes a mistake, or something unscheduled event happens on the drill floor, such as getting hosed, covered in drilling fluid, and now you've lost that long-term employee to a lost time accident, and it really influences what's going to happen on that drilling rig in the next 60 to 90 days, depending on how long this fellow's gone.
Well, let's touch on the environment a little bit, because one of the systems you have is zero spill. Why is that important to you?
I think zero spill is super important to the whole industry because we cannot continue to do what we're doing to the planet, and it only makes sense as responsibility requires you to make sure that you leave the land in the same shape as you found it. And I don't think anybody has the right to destroy the environment, and I think the oil industry can set a very good example, and has in the last 20 years, in showing what we can do for a difference. Gord Lambert said it best: it costs you 10 times more to be reactive than proactive, and I think Gord's right.
Where do you see CatchCan going now?
Well, the lights are bright, and we've been asked to provide systems in a lot of other countries. We're currently in 64 countries, and I think there's a huge opportunity for CatchCan and any other company that's providing safety and environmental systems products, because our goal is to provide a mall of Canadian technology in every country we're at.
One of the things that I hear when I go to conferences, if people are familiar with you, they talk about the fact that you came from the ground up, started on the rigs and got some ideas and worked out. When you look back at your time in the industry, from working on the rigs to starting Catch Cannon to where you are now, what do you think about the accomplishments you've made?
Well, I don't like to toot my horn too much, Rob. I think that perhaps some of the things that we've done have been overdue, and I feel really proud that I'm part of it, that we were able to create a paradigm shift in the oil industry to social responsibility and public responsibility and organizations, company responsibility, and I see it proliferating itself throughout all of the national and international oil companies worldwide, and I think it's an accomplishment. Your
thoughts on being recognized as one of the nominees by Ernst & Young as far as this entrepreneur category goes?
Well, I'm pretty darn happy, actually, Rob. I think it's an accomplishment, and as all entrepreneurs go, I think one of the things that's lacking is a pat on the back for the entrepreneurs. There's a lot of them out there besides me that work day and night and with a burning desire to create change and deliver results. And I really wanted to thank Ernst & Young and my team for allowing me to get here and being nominated.
Okay. Thank you very much, Quinn. We'll find out in October who wins.
Thank you very much, Rob.